With Car Guru's Discover, you can skip the filters and describe what you're looking for in your own words. Simply type what you want, and Car Guru's Discover instantly surfaces real listings that match your exact needs. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com.
Our top story tonight. Uneven-shouldered podcast host Carol Mandrioli was seen collecting llama and marmot droppings, claiming they were nature's chocolate. He is in police custody now. Fear not. Hello, everybody. This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who saves all of his Ziploc bags, inflates them to create life preservers for himself, to save himself from himself. Carl Mandrioli, everybody.
Welcome to the Backpacking Blisters podcast, a family-friendly show that has tips and tales with a sense of humor. With me today is a man who has awkward, broken interactions like, hey, buddy, are you a broken compass? Because I'm not sure where I'm going with this conversation. Derek Somerville.
You worked hard on that one. That was good. We're live.
We're not live. We're not live.
We're live-ish. We're live-ish.
As you're listening right now, we're not sitting here.
We're live-ish.
Yeah.
In my backyard.
That's right.
Carl came all the way out. Finally got him out here after 7 years. He will not come out. I had to bribe him.
Correct.
With shoulder pads and candy. So,
yep, and it worked.
He's here.
It worked. So today we got Darwin on the trail. Derek, who's Darwin on the trail?
He is a hiker who goes by Darwin on the trail. I don't remember. I remember me.
Again.
Woo!
Okay, since we're together.
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
You've never talked to him.
There you go.
You don't even know who you talked to.
I thought we interviewed him. Didn't I interview the first time?
No, you didn't.
This is the second time.
This is only the second time on the podcast.
Second time on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was right about that.
Right. He's like the OG YouTuber for through hiking.
You love doing this question, knowing that I don't know.
Because we're together, I've got the outline in front of us, and it literally has it on the outline, who is Darwin on the trail. And then I told you that this is what we're doing, so it's okay. So he's got 3 gear failures that you need to know. One of them we've never talked about before ever in the podcast, and it's kind of one I bet a lot of people struggle with, so we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Darwin had a moment of anger rage that he was willing to share.
A moment that I can relate with quite well, so we'll find out what that was.
We'll get into that. And we had the lightning round. And I hit a nerve during the lightning round. Which,
Shocking.
I don't think I've ever hit a nerve in the lightning round.
You hit a lot of nerves with a lot of people.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, probably. All right, Bible verse of the episode, Isaiah 9:5. For every boot of the tramping warrior in battle tumult, and every garment rolled in blood will be burned as fuel for the fire. When was the last time you threw a piece of gear away?
You were there. It was the trekking pole rage incident.
Okay.
And we got back to the cars, and I threw them right in the recycling receptacle.
Do you regret that?
No.
Really?
No.
I feel like they're trophies of an anger rage moment. That
what did you
lives
want
on.
me to do? What did you want me? You want me to, hang it on my wall?
Wouldn't they just give it to me? I would just keep them and maybe bronze them.
You would bring them up regularly on the podcast.
Do people bronze things anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know if they do.
That's a good question. I had baby shoes that were bronzed. I know.
Yeah, like those were like the boomers bronze things.
That was like the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
I think those companies are maybe out of business. I don't know. That could be
bronzing companies. Yeah.
Would you bronze like a hat or like shoulder pad? Like what would you
probably the shoulder pads you gave me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So the trekking poles were written. Trekking poles are going to come up today, so that's good. This episode is brought to you by the ultralight gear that will not fail, Enlightened Equipment. Check out their high-quality, reliable gear at enlightenedequipment.com. Here we go, Darwin on the trail. With me today is the top multi-sport adventurer, storyteller, and beard wearer in the world, Nick Darwin Rakestraw. How's it going today, sir?
I'll take that. Good, man. Good. Thank you.
Nobody's got that combo. Come on.
Top beard wearer in the world. I don't know. Like sometimes I look at other people's beard like super thick, like dense ones, and I just feel like mine's kind of thin up here on the sides. But thank you.
No, you get the combo. Like you're not the beard wearer by yourself, but you combine that with storyteller and adventurer.
I got you. I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take that one. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Super jealous of the documentary videos you're putting out about your Alaska trip from last year. You went to Gates of the Arctic and did a crazy adventure. Like it looked, for me, it's like an adventure of a lifetime. And you've been releasing these videos. You had like a trailer out for it. And for those that haven't seen any of this yet, can you give us one of the most interesting things that happened on the adventure? Like, I know there's a lot, but just like...
Yeah, it's hard to boil down to one interesting thing.
Yeah, a little tease.
I mean, on day... So we're obviously Gates of the Arctic, right? It's the edge of the Arctic Circle, are the gates of the Arctic Circle, right? Beginning of the Arctic Circle. Is
there an actual gateway? Do you have to like walk through an arch?
I don't know. We never found it. If there is, it would have made it feel worth it.
Right. You've entered the circle.
Exactly, and then you could get your like souvenir T-shirt and your like little pin or something. That would have been amazing. No gift shops in that national park, sir.
Right.
The only gift they give is misery in Gates of the Arctic. It's like the first I don't know. The first handful of days was really good, but like as we kept hiking deeper and deeper and actually going further north, it was crazy hot. So Alaska was like dealing with a super insane heat wave. Almost every single day, it just progressively got hotter and hotter. And we were up there during the solstice too. So the sun never sets in Alaska, right? So there's no coverage up there because there's like no trees. And if you find a tree, it's like the smallest thing. It's kind of hard to, hide under.
What's a heat wave? We're talking like 70s?
No, bro. In the village that we ended in on the last day of Ambler, they told us that 3 days before we got there, it buried the needle on the thermometers. So it was over 110 in the Arctic Circle.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Insane.
And you were wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt too. Like that's...
And carrying, a 60-pound pack. And it kind of got to a breaking point. And all three of us, I showed signs of it first, got heat exhaustion. So I don't know if you've ever had heat exhaustion or heat stroke.
Yeah, heat exhaustion.
You just it's terrible. Yeah. Like you start seeing black spots, you start feeling real nauseous, have no energy, super fatigued.
Right.
So I went through it. And then a little bit later into the day, one of the other guys that was with us, Jonathan, went through it.
And if you're judging Darwin about his pack weight, because he mentioned he's got a 16-pound pack, this is also a pack rafting trip, so he had some pretty heavy-duty gear with him, just to clarify.
Judge me all you want, folks.
But I do have an ultralight tip for you. If you're going to Alaska and you are at the summer solstice and there's no darkness, you probably can leave your headlamp at home, just saying.
It's funny how many people have left that comment. Like, why did you have a headlamp in your gear list? Like, I just didn't think about, man. But like, jokes on them, because we had one. So whenever you're doing a hike through the Brooks Range, there's nothing, right? There's no trails, there's no roads, there's no anything
for wilderness
ever, right? And our 400-mile route, the only thing that was from our point A to our point B. So there was one place throughout all of it, and it was a cabin out on a lake called Gaddock Lake. And there's a guy that you can get a hold of, and he'll do food drops. So he'll fly in with a bush plane, stash your food at the cabin. He's got like a building that he gives you the code. You can go get all your food. But when we got to that cabin, finally, we were like 2 days late getting to the cabin. We ran out of food, heat exhaustion, the whole thing. The cabin was super, there's obviously no electricity up there. So it's crazy dark inside the cabin that we took a day off in. So I did use my headlamp.
We had somebody comment because we asked there's a Facebook group. It's like Ultralight Backpackers. And we asked them what their most aggressive weight saving tip was. And somebody who apparently hikes in the Arctic Circle frequently commented that she still brings a headlamp even when it's 24-hour sunlight. So just to feel better about it.
It's like my headlamp, I don't know, weighs like less than an ounce. I'm like, it's not even that I took it. It's I forgot to not take it.
For sure. I forgot to not take it. Well, we're gonna get into some of the stuff that you like, kind of gear decisions. And there's like I picked three that like I'm all in it. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, I got some questions for you. So. Yeah. Because you've been on so many long trails, you've had so many adventures, I have a little game I like to call Have You Ever? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and if you say yes to any of them, I want to dig in a little bit here. So,
all right.
Warning, some of them are weird. First one, have you ever seen anything you can't explain while out on the trail?
People ask me that all the time.
Really? I think these are creative questions.
No, because people always ask me, like, have you ever seen Bigfoot? Have you ever seen aliens?
No, see, I
Ever
didn't
seen a
specify.
ghost? Right, but
Didn't specify.
that would be weird, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
think so, man. Like, I don't think I've ever really seen anything that strange or that out of the ordinary. That's
I didn't say paranormal, just to clarify.
Well, just anything. I mean, maybe a couple people, like when you're doing like long trails, like the Appalachian Trail, it's like you see a lot of weird hikers. Like that's for sure.
That could count.
Okay, fair enough.
Like we saw people we thought were serial killers. Like we're just like these people are creeping us out. And
I
was like, let's
I've definitely run into those folks on trail.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's probably about the weirdest it gets, though. Aside from that, not really.
So last time you were on this next one for Have You Ever? Last time you were on, you mentioned some like uncomfortable. You have these uncomfortable encounters with folks on the trail where like they want to have a selfie with you, and you're like, I'll take a picture of you, but like you don't need to take a picture with me. So it's been a couple years. So I guess if this has continued to bother you, have you ever gotten to the point where somebody asks you for a selfie and you just say, "Beat it, kid"?
No, it's usually the opposite. So like over the years, and like even back then, like I've embraced it, and I'm an awkward, super dry sense of humor person. So I will always like kind of turn it into kind of an awkward, uncomfortable moment. It's just who I am. Anybody that knows me long enough knows that's who I am. It's kind of a kick. I say weird things. Sometimes they really catch people off guard. So that's usually my go-to.
All right. Well, that brings me to the next one about encounters. Have you ever had an inexperienced backpacker that you've been on the trail give you unsolicited advice?
Yeah, I think that's happened probably a few times.
Like you may want to cinch that load lifter strap down, or you may want to carry your water bottle differently, like something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you always get like obviously like for years I was like a pretty minimal ultralight hiker, carried very, very minimal kits, kind of the whole running shorts, trail runners, like, and I've had kind of the thing that a lot of, I guess, ultralight hikers or minimal hikers get, which is you have somebody that's like fully kitted out, or like maybe somebody that's spent time in like the military or something.
Oh, right.
And it's instantly like they look at you and you're like, you're going to die out here. And it's like, I think I'm all right, man. There's like a town 2 miles over there. I think I'm all right.
I think I can make it.
So yeah, I've gotten that a lot for sure.
Have you ever been recognized as a YouTuber, but then get called Dan Becker or somebody else?
No, but that would be hilarious.
Okay. And I know you, Dan Becker.
I would totally go with it too, 100%. Talk about being awkward and like dry sense of humor. That's like that is so tasty. I'd eat that up, man. I would go so long with it and leave the situation like never breaking character and 100% convincing somebody that I was the person who they thought I was.
That's hilarious. Okay, that's funny. All right. This last one comes from a story from other thru hikers. Have you ever found food on the ground accidentally left by another hiker and then eaten it?
No. So I actually have a bit of I won't say I'm a germaphobe, but I'm like borderline germaphobe when it comes to other people. Like I've been married for 18 years. And I won't eat after my wife. I won't drink after her. We don't. Here you go. I'll tell you a really weird fun fact about me. Married 18 years. We don't do our laundry together because I don't like the idea of our funk being mixed in together into the same washer.
Wait, do you have separate washing machines?
Not separate washing machines, but it's pretty rare that I'll wash my clothes with her clothes.
Okay.
Like we'll do towels. So I'm not that crazy. So like, obviously, I won't like wash my towels separate. I'm that way with everybody. So no, I have never picked up food off of a trail and eaten it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I'll come across things that are like still in the wrapper, and so it's not like you're.
I would do that if I found it, but I'm never that lucky.
Like I see gels all the time that are still in the wrapper, but the story I'm referencing is somebody picked up, and I think it was like he was through hiking with his kids, and his kids found like Skittles that were being dropped, almost like breadcrumbs kind of a thing. And I think they were lean on food, and so they were like just eating them like it was the best thing in the world. So.
No, dog. Hike faster. Just hike faster.
Not for you. Okay.
Yeah, don't. No.
Okay. I'm excited to get into this. We've got the story behind 3 gear failures you had in Alaska last year. So I picked my favorite 3, and I'll have linked the full episode in the show description because there's more than 3 that he shares. But it's not just that these pieces of gear failed or the decision making behind this failed. It's It's the stories that go with this. This is what kind of drew me to this conversation.
Okay, fair enough.
So we can focus on the failures if you want to, and like why something failed, and get into the nitty gritty. But you've got that in the video, so people can dig into that. But
Yeah.
number one, so I guess kind of brief recap. You had some issues with the Durston trekking poles, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. I can say this with high confidence. I've been making videos for 10 years. I've used a lot of stuff in the backcountry. I've never had a single piece of gear fail so miserably on me so many times in a row so quickly.
Right.
It was honestly shocking.
Yeah.
Now, according to the whole Durston group, fan club, cult, whatever you want to call them, whatever they want to call themselves, it's my...
Yeah, we just like envision people with pitchforks ready to attack you.
It's my fault.
Right.
I have a piece of one right here, yeah.
Like a souvenir.
All my trekking poles are down here. A bunch of trekking poles, I might add, that have thousands of miles on them that are carbon, no less.
That are carbon.
That are perfectly fine still. Yeah, man. They failed a lot of ways. You know, the first day we were out there when we started the trek, we started with pack rafting, right? So we had like, I can't remember how many miles it was, 37 miles on the river.
Okay.
And then we started kind of our first full day of hiking afterward. Going from the river, our first full day of hiking, which wasn't that many miles, within like the first mile, 2 miles, how these trekking poles work is it's a 2-piece pole. And this is like a little nipple that kind of plugs into a socket. And then the socket has a button. I actually don't have the rest. This is all I have. This is all that exists of those poles. It plugs into that socket, and that little button failed instantly. So what happened was, because I thought they'd be great, because as you break them down, like they'd be really good to break down, put in a pack raft, right? Because you got to store everything on the inside. So that's why I took them, and because they're incredibly light. And they seemed pretty sturdy. Like that connection is actually really sturdy. Like I'll give that to the poles. Out of all the carbon, like multi-piece trekking poles, like Z poles and stuff.
Yeah.
This is one of the most sturdy multi-piece pole that I've ever used. So I give that to it. And that's why I took them, because I'm like, these are really sturdy for as light as they are. In the first couple miles of hiking, we got to these river crossings, and some of the rivers were too high to cross, walking across it. Like they were just that deep. So we had to inflate the boats and float across them. And if you watch like that first video, you can see it in the footage. Like there's a spot where we were like bushwhacking, and then we inflate the boats and we float across it. Well, I broke the poles down. I put them in my boat. Actually, I don't even think I put them in the boat. I think I put them on my pack on top of the boat. We floated across, and when I went to go put them back together, I connected them, and that button wouldn't pop back. Yeah, it wouldn't like it's spring loaded.
I know what you're talking about. It's supposed to like click.
Yeah, it clicks, right? So that wouldn't work. So I put water in it, blew it out, because I'm like, oh, it must have sand or something like that, and it kept trying to do it. And like for a second, it kind of clicked back, and it held it, and then I took off hiking. And what would periodically happen is I would be hiking, and I'd like put my pole down. You know how like sometimes the pole like maybe gets stuck in mud or something, like suctions, and you you like leave the pole. Well, that would happen, but I would take the top of the pole, and that would be stuck in there, so it kept separating.
After the second time that happens to me, I would be so annoyed. I'd be like, dang it.
So that was annoying, but I was like, okay, like sand. It must be sand. It's stuck in the thing. So I kept trying to fix it, mess with it. So that kept happening. On the third day, either second or third day, we were hiking, and we were hiking down this riverbed. And like, there's like little rocks everywhere. It's a riverbed, right? And all of a sudden, like after, I don't know, about 4 miles or whatever, we stop. And, like you're holding your poles, and like one's lower than the other one. And I'm like, that's weird. And I was thinking weird. Like, yeah, maybe it's the adjuster. Maybe it slid, because that happens, right? Like the little lock comes off. And like I looked at it, and it was the same height as the other one. And I picked up the pole, and the bottom was completely sheared off.
Sheared off, yeah.
These poles, unlike a lot of other trekking poles, it's not a separate tip. So this little part here, this is not separate. This is part of the entire pole. That little tip's glued into it, and then that's just a plastic thing that's glued on there. It's wedged on there. Okay. So it just sheared, the carbon sheared somewhere. I have no clue where it went, when it happened. It was just happening within those miles. I just never noticed it. It was the same pole as the one that kept disconnecting. So here's the best part. Is this the best part right here? What happened? I'm so excited about this part right here. So then, I don't know what day it was, 5th, 6th, of dealing with like the pole consistently separating, the tip not being there. So we'd be crossing like slippy rocks, and I'd have no traction on the one with no tip. Yep. I had I got heat exhaustion real bad. Right. Was really upset, really frustrated, a lot of emotions in the moment. And my buddy Jonathan was trying to get me to drink water. I couldn't drink water. I felt really sick to my stomach. I was just frustrated. We were 2 days behind schedule of when we needed to get to this cabin. It was hard. It was hot. And I got up to walk away. I'm already irritated. And I took like 2 steps and I put that trekking pole down. And right when I put the trekking pole down and I walked off, I didn't see it. I felt it. I felt it separate. Like I felt it pop off, and it just like, it was the thing that sent me over the edge. Yeah. And I just took it and I just launched it into outer space. Totally stupid.
Shucked it.
On video.
Yes.
Totally
on
stupid.
video.
Just in the heat of the moment, launched it. And if you watch the video, you can see me throw it, and for a couple seconds, it's a whole pole. And then you can watch it split in the air.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can see it just separate in the air, and one part go one way and one part go the other way. So as soon as I did it, I was just like, I need the pole, and I obviously can't leave it out here. But the tussocks are so thick out there, and a tussock is like a little bush. And sometimes they're crazy deep in between them, like big mud pits and like holes and boggy. Sometimes they're a lot shallow. There's so many of them. Dude, you could have camped right there, spent 4 days in that spot, and never found that pole because they're so thick. Right. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So I searched for it forever. Which
to me sounds like a challenge. Like I feel like we now have an adventure that we can do where we can go search for Darwin's lost trekking pole.
Hats off to y'all, folks. Like,
if anybody finds it, I got a Snickers bar waiting for you.
If anybody finds it, I will. I'd put a reward on it. $500. $500 to anybody that.
No, you don't want to do that. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna buy the Durston trekking poles and then just like jack them up, and then they're like, "See, I found it."
Oh no. I know.
You know what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I carved my initials in the top, and I put a certain tape around them, so I know exactly.
Okay.
I know exactly what pole it is. $500. Here's what I'll say about the Durston thing. Dan himself, Dan's a great guy. Dan, I like Dan a lot. A lot of people like his stuff. The poles, I just think that they just a little too, it's kind of like there's this edge, and I own a gear company, so like I understand this as well. There's a line that you walk between like too ultralight and like durability, right? It's like ultralight and durability. Obviously, the more durable it is, odds are the more heavy, clunky, thicker it's going to be. The more ultralight, the more kind of fragile. People use that term a lot, fragile. And that's not always the case. You can have crazy ultralight things that are super tough, like there's some great materials out there. But these poles, I think that leaned way too far on the side of like, I'm going to make the most ultralight trekking pole we can possibly make. And that's great, but at the end of the day, it's like poles, any pole, unless you're just walking through the park or down a well-established trail, poles take beating. I don't think most people realize like how much you knock those into rocks and roots and stuff. Yeah. So it's like trekking pole can be ultralight.
All right, second one we have. This one spoke to me because you mentioned the Topo Pursuit 2 shoes. It spoke to me on 2 different levels. So you had the Topo Pursuit shoes that you absolutely loved.
Thought I had a pair.
And then, of course, like every shoe brand in the entire world, they're like, we have a perfectly designed shoe, so let's completely overhaul it and change everything. And they came out with that second version, and it just wrecks it. Like, what? Okay, so my question is not like, we can get into the story about why you don't like these shoes, but my question is, because you might have, I don't know, more background knowledge than I do, is why are shoe companies doing this? Why do they overhaul a good product and make it worse? Do you have any information on that?
Sure. I mean, it's, that's inevitable. That's always been shoes, right? Like I can talk to Ultra, like
every brand.
Right. Like I used to love the Lone Peak 3. I thought it was the greatest shoe ever made. Right. Could get 700-800 miles out of a pair. They lasted forever. They fit my foot. But here's the thing is like footwear is so specific to the person. And my theory is you have a shoe that works for some people, but doesn't work for other people, which that's always going to be the case. It's just so so subjective. Shoes are probably the most subjective thing in gear in general. maybe aside from underwear, right? So
Right.
down with underwear. Is what I say.
Okay.
Worthless piece of clothing.
Polar episode.
That's the new podcast we're going to launch called Darwin After Dark.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Down with underwear.
A lot of shoes that hikers are wearing are they're running shoes, right? They're trail running shoes. That's
correct.
You got to think going into it, as much as like I don't like it either. It's like the shoes aren't designed for thru hikers. They're not designed for long distance backpackers. They're designed for trail runners. Those shoe brands are going to take their feedback less from hikers and more for the person it was designed for. And just like, I worked in the bike industry for a long time. A lot of bike innovation and change and design and fit and all of that stuff, they're always going to base that off of like the top people racing their bikes that year, say the Tour de France or something, right? So with a shoe, I'm sure it's the exact same way as like they put out a shoe one year, they give it to, I don't know, name your ultra runner, right? I'll go old school. I'll say Scott Jurek. I don't even know if Scott's still running anymore.
Is that how you pronounce his name? That was Jurek.
I think it's Jurek.
Okay.
I think the J is silent. I think.
Gotcha.
I'm sure somebody's leaving an angry comment right now. Maybe it's Scott. Hey, Scott. I think that they give it to them. That person goes out and races on it. And that person's like, I love the shoe, but I wish that toe box was just a little bit wider.
Right.
But then the next year, they're going to give it to the next sponsored athlete. And they're going to say like, love the shoe, but that toe box is a little too wide for me. So I think that they're always going to change things like that. And then you can also make the argument of like most products that are meant to be more disposable, planned obsolescence, right? So if we put out a new shoe every year, like that's different, like it makes people want to get it. So they're going to make little adjustments and tweaks, but that's kind of getting a little conspiracy theory on it. I think it's...
No, but you could just change the colors though. Just be like new color scheme, same
I think
model,
it's
right?
more that they're making those adjustments for the people that they're designing them for, that are giving them the feedback. Because I mean, take hiking shoes, for instance, like single out like the Merrill Moab. You know that shoe?
Yeah.
The classic, the ventilator. That shoe has not changed in like 12 years.
Right. Okay.
Right? So there you go.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, because that shoe works for most people backpacking in it, and they're probably not going to make all these little tweaks and adjust it as people are using it. So I think that that's the reason.
I think the takeaway is obviously you like a shoe, they come out with version 2, version 3, whatever. You can't assume that you're going to like that one too and just bring it on your next trip. Like you got to put some miles on it to, and some hard miles too to make sure that you like it, or read the reviews ahead of time.
Totally. And that's the other thing. It's like, I know that as well. So like, I was hiking in the Pursuit 2s for a while, but I was doing not the stuff I was doing
Different
in
things,
Alaska.
right.
Yeah, where we're doing all this like weird ankle twisting stuff. And that's where it started to become a problem. So, but that's just taking the gamble and like hoping that something's going to work. Unfortunately, out there, unlike a thru hike, you can't just walk into a town and be like, well, if I'm going to throw these shoes in the trash and try that shoe, it's like I was stuck with them.
Yeah.
So, which you'll see.
Unless you found some in the cabin. Maybe the cabin had a shoe room.
Yeah. So for anybody listening to this after I released the last episode, you'll see that like that ended up plaguing me. Like spoilers, that plagued me all the way to the end and actually ended up causing some pretty major damage that I'm still kind of dealing with.
Yeah, Achilles stuff is that takes a while to
it's
go
nasty,
away.
man.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Third one. This one I found interesting because I feel like this is a common, like annoying problem that we've actually never talked about on our podcast. So you brought the Sawyer Mini 2, their new version that you liked, and then we're debating which like fill bag to bring with it, and you ended up bringing, was it like a 700 mil bag? Yeah,
it was like the really small flask that they make that Canuck makes for them, which I had used those in the past on some like running vest style packs. My whole thought on that was because there was never a time where our feet weren't wet. So that'll tell you how much water there is in Alaska.
Yeah,
there wasn't a time where we were like, oh, we could use some water. We're going to have to do a carry. We never had to carry water. I just took something. That's the old thru hiker mentality in me. Like I took the absolute smallest bottle that I could possibly take. Because I'm like, if I stop to get water, I'm going to fill up my 1 liter bottle and then I'm going to be good until I stop again. I don't need to carry a bunch. So I just but through using it, I kind of wish, I wish I would have taken something at least a liter, if not more, because I was having to consistently fill it up so many times.
It's like an extra chore.
That's the main reason. The filter was great.
Which isn't a massive fail. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not a fail at all. It's just a dumb decision.
Well, it was in your gear fail video, so that's what I'm
Well, yeah, but it's like, what am I going to call it? Like, and that's the thing. It's so funny, man, how analytical people get in the comments. It's like, this is clickbait. These aren't all failures. I'm like, what? No, duh. But like, what am I going to call the video? Like, gear that failed in Alaska, but also gear that I wish that I would have taken something different, but I didn't. So this is what I took instead. It's like, no, you just give it like a general basic title, like gear failures.
I'd still watch that one, that really long title.
Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind for the next one that I make.
Okay. So, but here's the thing is, like, I think most people are when they're bringing bottles, they're bringing 1 liter bottles. Like, periodically you'll see like 1.5 liters. But I think that the takeaway for this is that if you're bringing a fill bag, you just got to have a liter or more, I think, to kind of streamline the efficiency, because the difference in weight between like a 0.7 and a full liter is
nothing.
Grams. It's like,
it's nothing.
Minimal.
Yeah, I think for me it was more, and I also wanted to try something different out. I was also like, when I'm taking something like that out, it's like I'm also trying new setups. So for years, like I used the Catadine B-Free, which isn't because of weight. It's not because it was because it's like such a compact system, right? So like with the flask on it, like whenever you kind of break it down, it's like you can put it in the palm of your hand. So putting it in like a side pocket. So my whole thought to taking the smaller bottle with the smaller filter, can I find something? Because truth be told, I prefer a Sawyer filter more because I've worked with them and I know what those filters can do. The Sawyer filter is definitely a lot safer when it comes down to certain questionable water sources. 100%. But like the reason I stopped using Sawyer for so long, went to the Catadine, was because like the Sawyer squeeze was a bigger filter. You got a bigger bag with it. It's just a clunkier system. Right. So the reason I took the system I took in Alaska, I'm like, oh, can I find something that is comparative to the Catadine B-Free as far as size of what it packs down and how minimal it is, that will filter better. So that's the whole reason I took the smaller bag.
Replicate it with Sawyer with a better filter, basically.
Yeah, but with all that being said, I think the best advice to take away from that is, I think, like, have something that's comparative to what you're actually carrying water in versus what you're trying to filter with, because it's just it's less of a chore. And
maybe I'm even like, maybe I've mindlessly made the mistake where I'm like, oh, this is just an extra chore. I've just got to keep scooping. And when you said that, I was like, yeah, like, why wouldn't you'd want to make sure you'd have the same as your water bottle or more than that?
Well, for me, it typically wouldn't be a big deal, like if I was on a thru hike or something. But like we got to the end of those days and we were so insanely wore out. We'd be like camped up on a beach and it was like a bit of a walk to get back down to the river.
Yeah.
So it was like looking at the river, just being like, I don't want to get up. Like I might die on my way to the water.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your 3. So that's 3 that hopefully we got 3 takeaways from. Since the last time you've been on our show, we have a new segment called the Lightning Round, where you have 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. These could be backpacking related or not. All right, this Lightning Round is brought to you by Magnet Designs. Check out their Bend Alpha sleeping bag liner that also works for quilts. You can add it to your bag or quilt to increase the warmth rating without having to buy a whole new setup. It can also be used by itself if you're going on hotter summer trips or if you just want to take a daytime nap. At 7 or 8 ounces, the Bend Alpha liner can be a versatile piece to your gear collection. Check it out at magnetdesigns.com. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Timer starts after I ask my first question. Here we go. Do you still support cold soaking as a good idea?
No.
A state you could move to and be happy?
I mean, I already kind of live in the state I'm the happiest with, but I'll throw two out as a bonus. New Mexico, I'd love to move back to New Mexico. East Coast or South, North Carolina.
A piece of gear you no longer bring. Used to bring, no longer bring.
Oh, I mean, that's so many things. God.
Pick one. Pick one.
Camp shoes.
Something that annoys you at the grocery store.
Self-checkouts. Hate them so much. I don't work at the grocery store. I don't want to check myself out. Can you imagine if somebody like came into my shop, like my gear company, and was like, I want to buy this backpack. And I'm like, go make it yourself. Oh, it drives me insane. I hate it.
We'll talk about that in a second. Biggest outdoor fear.
Biggest outdoor fear. It's not very lightning of me. Hypothermia?
That is time. But that's the first time I think I struck a chord with the grocery store question, which was amazing because I have strong opinions about the grocery store too. So, okay. So do you not go through the self-checkout then?
I try not to unless I have to. Yeah. Like I'll stand in a line of like six people and there would be like a self-checkout line that's completely open. I would rather stand there. Here's the other thing. It's like, yeah, not for nothing. It's not because I'm like lazy and I'm like, oh, screw technology. It's also because, like, I don't know, man, like, maybe I'm a little old school, but, like, when I go to a place, whether it's a restaurant or a store to buy something, or the grocery store, like, I like the human interaction. Like, I want to kind of make small talk with the person that is, waiting on me or being a store clerk or something like that. Like, I enjoy that. I'm from the Midwest and, like, I'm from Indiana. You know, you just talk to people, you hold a door open for somebody, like, hey, how's your day going?
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I like to do.
Well, I appreciate you playing along. Well, let's talk about your gear. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So tell us what's going on with Evolve Supply.
Yeah. So it's I started the company a little over 3 years ago. I was actually looking at that today because I'm putting together some paperwork for something that we're trying to do. Started at the end of 2022. And really what it came from is, for years, not only did I use a bunch of other people's stuff, but I also helped develop and design a bunch of gear with some other companies in the past. Whether that was testing and giving feedback or like designing from the ground up. And when I was out on my CDT thru hike in 2021, I was using a pack that I had designed and developed with another company. And, while I was hiking, putting 3,000 miles on a backpack, as you do, like you're hiking, you're like, oh, if I had to do this again, like I would change this and I would have made this longer and I would have made this a little thicker and I would have added this.
Right.
So when I got done with the trail, I kind of had another backpack in me, right? Like I was like, oh, it'd be cool to make another one. Unfortunately, that whole situation with that other company didn't work out for a lot of reasons. So I was like, well, I don't want to do it with them. Okay. I am not personally a sewist, a tradesman, and know how to do a lot of different things. Very much a Renaissance man, as they say. But like sewing, I'm all thumbs. Like I can't run a sewing machine to save my life, right? So I was like, well, I want to do that. I know all these other companies, but I kind of want to do my own thing. So I started talking with a pack designer that made custom packs, and that's how it kind of started. And then, I was right there at the tail end of me kind of stepping away from thru hiking for a while. I wasn't really going to be doing the YouTube channel. So I was like, well, instead of calling it like the Darwin pack or, something like that, I was like, well, let's just give it a name. And we came up with Evolved Supply Co. I had a media company called Outdoor Evolution. So it was kind of a play back off of that, Evolved Outdoor Evolution.
Yeah.
So we released the backpack. And then I've been telling a lot of people that have come into our shop lately, because we have a little store and stuff. Just like most things in the past 10 years for me, it just totally happened on accident. It was like, I just wanted a backpack and it turned into a whole gear company. And now like in the other room, we have a shop with 6 sewing machines, like, 3 full-time sewists, I just on Monday drove down to Phoenix, Arizona and bought another stupidly expensive sewing machine so we could specifically make this fleece in-house.
Okay. So wait, so I can
all
so if
by
I go to
accident.
Flagstaff, I can show up at your shop to shop.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So we've had the company. When we first started, we were making prototyping and designing stuff in-house, and then because I didn't want what I accidentally got, which was a bunch of sewing machines and a ton of sewists and a ton of overhead, right? Because like sewing operations can be really big, especially if you're trying to scale and stuff. I was like, oh, well, I'll find smaller production facilities outside of, in-house, and we'll have stuff made there. So like we prototyped, patterned, sampled all stuff in-house. And then you find a small manufacturer. There's a backpack manufacturer just outside of Denver that's like, a small shop, maybe 8 to 10 sewists in there. And then you send them your patterns and then they make them in batches of 50 or 100, 200, something like that. So you're not making them to order like a lot of people do. It's just, it can be a harder business to do it that way. And obviously it costs more to pay people in-house to make something. 3 people versus 10 people making it. Those 10 people making it, doing an assembly line can do it a lot faster. That way it's not as expensive as the overhead of doing it in-house, all that stuff. So that's how we started it. And then it kind of slowly started to evolve, if I may, to where I've really, really loved doing it because it's, I am a gear geek. It's as much as pushback of I don't want to do gear videos. I'm a total gear nerd. Of course I am, right? Duh. So it's the ultimate gear nerdery is not buying gear and reviewing gear and testing gear. It's it's making gear. So over the years, I'm a very hands-on person. So we've started expanding, and it went from one sewing machine in the shop just to do patterns and prototyping and make one-offs, like a backpack or a fleece, like this fleece made in there, to now we're doing full production. So our shop has been here for 3.5 years in Flagstaff, downtown Flagstaff, but we were always closed off to the public because, we sell online. So we're fulfilling orders, making stuff in-house.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, back in October, one day I was in this it was an office space, a big office space, and we weren't really using it. I'm in one room. The next door is an office that I edit in.
Okay.
The next door is the space I'm talking about. The next door is the shop.
Okay.
I'm literally in the same, my studio is in the same building as our company, our sewing shop. And I was just sitting there one day and I was looking out the window and I was watching these backpackers get off of it's called a groom shuttle. It's a shuttle that'll pick you up in the airport in Phoenix. It'll bring you up here. And then they take people to the canyon. So people backpack in the canyon, they kind of use Flagstaff as home base. And I was watching these backpackers get off. And I was just it's kind of a shame that people don't know that we're up here. It's kind of cool. We're making stuff right here. You can see it being made. Light bulb went off. And I was like, we should just convert this space that we're not really using into a showroom. So we converted that into our store. So now we have a retail store. So now we're open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Folks can come in.
That's super cool.
Try on try on backpacks, check out our gear. And then we have a half wall. So while you're standing in the retail shop, you can look right in and you can see people sewing.
Okay.
You can see packs being made. You can see all the gear being made. Yeah.
Wait, so if somebody wants to buy a pack at your store, so they show up and you happen to be there, they're kind of cinching things down or trying to see if it's the right size. Do you actually help them with a pack? Try to figure out what's the right pack for them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny
crazy.
how many, there's literally a door between me editing my Alaska video.
Yeah.
And the showroom in the shop. And I'll usually have headphones on, but I'll pause it and I'll hear somebody talking out there and they'll be like, oh, I just want to stop by. Cause it's really cool. This is Darwin's Gear Company. And I'll take my headphones off and I'll walk out there and be like, hey, how's it going? They're like,
what?
You're actually here? And I'm like, yeah, I live here.
This is my shop.
It's I think a bunch of people think there's always weird, saying stuff online. There's always weird narratives and stuff. And what I've taken over the past 3 years is I think there's a bunch of people that think that I don't know, I have a bunch of money and I own this corporate gear company and I'm sitting in an office and I show up and it's no. If you order something, odds are I'm the one packing the shipment to send it to you.
Yeah.
I'm ordering all the fabrics. I'm doing the marketing.
Right.
I'm balancing back and forth between doing video work and then working on and designing and making stuff. So
I actually love that idea because I feel especially as a all you do is a full-time YouTuber, it can be very, I don't know, isolating and lonely. And so now you have like this outlet, like literally next door to what you're outside your door where you can interact.
And the store's been great because it's like, again, as I was telling you kind of about the self-checkout thing, like I like talking to people. It's like I worked in a bunch of different industries over the years, customer service industries, like where, you know, I've been customer service for people and helped people. And like my last, I don't know if some people on the internet want to say my last real job, I worked at a bike shop in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And, you know, every day customers would come in and I'd help them get set up with the right bike. And we go out and do test rides and stuff like that. And it's just like you create a rapport with people and you get to help people kind of find the right thing and get them fit. So then they get to go have their own adventure and have fun. And that's what I've been doing on YouTube for years with like making videos. But now it's like I get to do it in person. Like somebody comes in and they're interested in something and I get to tell them like why that product was made that way. Like what adventures it was developed on. Like, you know, like this fleece, for instance, it's like we're putting this fleece out. I spent the last year living out of this thing, like in Alaska, in the stands, all these different environments. So it's like I get to tell the story of the piece of gear, how we developed it, why we did what we did, and then kind of help steer people.
It's more meaningful for the buyer to hear that when they so they're getting the story with the piece of gear.
Yeah, and it's more meaningful for me too, because like, you know, I've said this a ton of times of like doing YouTube and like becoming Darwin and all that stuff. It's like I got in it for the community aspect of it. It wasn't to get famous or get rich, or because if that was the reason, I did it wrong, bro.
That's a highlight of this conversation because I love that idea, and I love that people are swinging by with just meaningful connections to you and kind of like how you've maybe inspired them to do things from some of your YouTube videos, and then they can go check in and maybe, you know, whether they're buying gear, just kind of checking out your store. I think that's great. So next time I'm in Flagstaff, I'm definitely gonna swing by and check it out. And
yeah, man, you should come visit. Come do some hiking in the canyon. Let me know. Let me go. I'll go out and do a trip with you in the canyon.
Right on, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Darwin, this has been an honor and a pleasure to hang out with you, and thank you.
Yeah, man, likewise.
For coming on the show, man. I know you're in high demand. I bet you get a lot of podcast requests, and so I just appreciate you taking the time to come on our show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no problem. Always a good time, for sure.
All right, Derek, takeaways. What you got?
Well, I mean, we had the bonding moment with the trekking poles. I can empathize.
So you didn't even talk to me. You feel like you bonded with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that nonverbal bond, you know. I mean, like I was there in that moment with him. When he like just chucked that thing in the wild.
You know, I'm not going to judge him for that. I think I was in that moment of rage. You're just like so over that piece of gear. You just want to not be around it.
Well, and you're not the only person who's anger raged before on the trail. Rocky's had some anger rage moments as well.
Oh yeah.
So I just wonder, like, if you have an anger rage moment where you've chucked gear or done something or smashed a stick against a tree, whatever it is, like, please share, because I think it just humanizes people and makes people, you know, like especially if you get hurt or if a piece of gear that you've spent some money on keeps on failing on you, like, that's really frustrating, right?
I thought Rocky would have, like, maybe he did. Maybe I'm forgetting he chucked gear or broke gear.
He chucked a chair.
He chucked a chair, but he also placed a chair on the side of the trail. And then
that's not anger rage.
But that was an anger. I thought he would
placing something that anger rage, right?
So if I place it a quarter mile from the trailhead because I'm, too tired.
I think he chucked it, dude.
No, not the big chair.
Okay.
No, he placed it. I could be wrong. Rocky,
right, stay tuned. We'll update that story later.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I think it's interesting what kind of how people handle that, and it just makes Darwin feel like a real person. And he put a bounty on that trekking pole. So $500 if you happen to be in the Brooks Range of Alaska.
$500.
And you want to go sifting through the underbrush, which, here's a pro tip. Bring a metal detector, because there's some metal in there.
Yeah, that's not going to add to your base weight at all, though.
Well, maybe you might find some gold. It's Alaska, man.
Just
Gold rush.
Just bring like
gold
a 10-pound metal detector, and you'll figure it out.
How much do they weigh? 10 pounds? Is that right?
I don't know.
They have some ultralight ones.
Ultralight metal detector.
I think you can find one for 3 pounds or less.
3 pounds you don't need.
For $500?
What are the percentages you're going to find that in the wild?
With a metal detector?
With a metal detector.
I'm going to say
0%?
25%.
I'm going to say 3%. So if you like those odds.
I'm going to say 3% if you have like Devil's
Advocate? I don't know what that is
if you have Derek level
Derek level.
and
Good save. Good save. Yeah.
If you have Derek level effort on things, then maybe 0%.
Derek level effort's going to be 110%. So I don't know.
Incorrect. Okay.
Stats
So there's
are
that, and then he had a really strong reaction to the grocery store question. I've been asking grocery store questions for years now, and people usually just kind of like dismiss them or like, all right,
Laugh.
whatever. But everybody goes to the grocery store, so I feel like it's very relatable. And he hates the self-checkout lines.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? You think? What was the vibe you got? Why he hates it?
I think it's
He wanted to interact with people.
Yeah, I think it's lonely being a YouTuber. I think there's a lot of like alone time, whether you're going solo backpacking or you're just like, staring at a computer editing. And the grocery store is his time to interact.
The grocery store.
Apparently. And the self-checkout lines take it away from him. They steal his opportunity.
I think if he did a little bit more drive-through interaction with like fast food, like that wouldn't be such a hot topic at the grocery store.
You think he's a fast food guy?
I think he could be. And I think that he'd get more socialization. That's all I'm saying.
So when you say interaction, are you talking like through the machine interaction?
No, when you get to the window, you
Okay.
could do order a mega muffin and then like pre-talk to the guy ahead of time and cheat and then do all that whole thing.
So you don't like start the conversation like or give him a heads up like just when I get to the window we're gonna have a chat.
That would be awkward. That would be awkward. I would like to shake your hand and get to know you. You know?
You shaking the hand of somebody at the window before?
I did. I stuck my hand out and I just waited until they're like, wait, what do you? Oh, you want me to shake your hand? And there was that moment of like, what's going on? But they did. They reached out.
There's a guy that I used to know that's like he was like a big fast food guy, like constantly buying fast food.
Oh man,
yeah, like big time. And so he would have fast food trash in his vehicle.
Oh.
So he gets to the window, he's getting more fast food, and he's like, by the way,
can you throw this out? That's the worst. That's the worst.
I was like, don't do that. I was embarrassed.
I've done that. When you give somebody else, like you give Taco Bell like Carl's Jr. trash, you're like, can you throw this out?
Well, you've done that?
I've done that.
Oh my gosh. Californians, folks, that's what they do.
In the Mega Muffin days, that's what I would do, guys.
That's what they do.
That's what I would do.
That's embarrassing. All right, I'll bring that up again. Okay.
I'm sure you will.
All right, so thanks to Darwin for coming on the show and for playing along with some of my questions. So we got the only tidbits I've got are I want to know what your top 3 product failures are of all time. Doesn't have to relate to backpacking, but it can.
Okay.
Top 3. So what you got?
All right, my first product failure is actually I'm gonna say the Camelback bladder 2-liter was one of my biggest product failures.
Isn't that user error?
No, that was not user. No, it was not user error. It could have been
all the way on.
That thing was so tight and right, and it just my whole bag got wet. Everything in there got wet.
He like re-threaded the cap and then.
Well, I did it more than on more than one trip, 2 trips, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I saved it, dude. Yeah, I saved it.
Bronze that thing too.
I think I should bronze it. That's a good idea. Yeah, Camelback bladder.
Okay, that's number 1.
Down.
All right,
what do you got?
That one. I've mentioned this story before, so I'm not going to dig too much in, but Ford trucks. I've owned 2 Ford trucks in my life, and both needed transmission replacements or significant repairs.
But isn't that on you, though? Because I feel like a lot of people understand, like, American cars are built better, like, tougher, but they don't last as long. So they have more issues.
Here's the thing, is that, it obviously is on me because I made the decision to buy the vehicle.
Twice.
Yeah. Well, the first time, I don't know. The first time was my first vehicle I ever bought. Like,
all right, we'll wave that off, I guess.
That's all I could afford was
okay, we'll wave that off.
Yeah. But then when you talk to the people at like the repair shops, the mechanics, and then I talked to them for years and I was like, which vehicles are you seeing less of? Which ones are having fewer problems? He's like, it's been great over the last like 5 years. Ford's gotten like way better. And so he planted that seed and I was like, okay, all right.
Just listen to some random mechanic guy and,
Yeah, what do mechanics know, right?
Yeah, they don't really.
They know
how to rip you off.
Well,
they know that.
Apparently so.
Good.
All right, number 2, what you got?
Number 2, I have the single blade razor. I can't remember the name of the company. I bought thinking like,
Bic?
No, it wasn't Bic. No, it was like, I was like, I'll get less like ingrown hairs. I'll get less, whatever. So I tried this thing out. It was like pretty pricey. I got it. Just ripped my face up. I think I had cut it like 6 or 7 times. I'm like, why am I?
So after the first 2 cuts, you're like,
after the first 2 cuts, I'm like, no, I got this. I can figure this out. And then it was just like cut. And I was like bleeding all over my face. Threw it in the trash. Did
that really happen or are you trying to make an excuse for how you look right now?
Well, no, it's a true story. Okay. True story. Shocking, I know. Shocking. That can look this good after all that. I get it.
All right, that's a bad blade right there.
It's horrible.
I mentioned the Topo shoes already. That's come up a couple times, and I use them just for like walk around shoes for teaching, and they fit my foot really well, but they just wear out stinking fast. And so if you use them for backpacking or hiking, there's somebody else that commented on a video recently that had a third model. So I've used like road running shoes, I've used trail running shoes, but with the road running shoes, like just crumbled. And then the trail running shoes, like they just wear out on the heel. And then Darwin mentioned another model that he had that like gave him like an Achilles problem. So Topo shoes, I'm with Darwin on this one. I would be skeptical.
Would you buy them again?
Well, they just fit my foot, so for walking around I would, but I would not buy them for backpacking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has a different purpose.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
Number 3.
My third one. Okay, so I went. Sometimes I buy stuff online. Shocker, I know. Like we all do. And there was an online shoe store called Thursday Shoes, and the Thursday shoes were like, they get in your feed and they get in your head, and I was like, oh, and like these are so.
Wait, what does that mean? They get in your
get your algorithm, right? You look at you're looking at shoes, you're looking at clothes, so then like these companies will just pump stuff at you. So I get this company Thursday Shoes, and they're like, these are the most comfortable shoes, they're quality, high quality, blah 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 blah, for like a month or two. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a pair of these things. I'm going to get a pair of these brown leather shoes. I'm like, all right, I get these shoes, you guys, and it was like putting sandpaper box on my foot, and the laces were just crusty old leather. It was so uncomfortable.
Were they like for moccasins, like that kind of?
Dude, I don't know if they got these from the Middle Ages or what, but it was like it was so uncomfortable.
Would they be better than middle-aged shoes?
That's a good question. I don't know. What are middle-aged shoes made out of? Like soft leather from a cow?
Probably like
from a deer?
Microfiber and plastic.
Those are better. Those are better.
It's not middle-aged. They didn't have that stuff.
Those are better. You could have made shoes that were better than these guys. Okay. So I was horrible. My foot was hurting. So.
All right. The last one I got, this one I'm a little embarrassed about.
This will be good. This will be good.
I'm embarrassed about is there's been some manufacturing flaws with the tent catheter, and apparently people have not been able to exit the urine out of their tent, and they've been urinating inside their tent due to like some weird back flushing issues.
Big surprise. Big surprise.
Yeah. So if you want to return that and send your tent in, we'll give it a full cleaning. So
he'll give it a full cleaning. I will.
Yeah, with a sponge.
Hands and knees, guys. Hands and knees.
All right, that's all I got, my friend.
That was horrible. Okay, well, that's all I got. Any other tidbits for us, or that's it?
Just all I got?
After that's all you got? That's all we got. Guys, we'll see you next time. If you have gear that stinks and breaks, Carl will clean it for you with either his mouth tongue or a sponge. We will see you next time.
I want to fly around the world.
Yeah, there was a time when Carl raged. He raged pretty hard. He had a spork, and the spork had one of those little, one of the little prongs on the spork broke off, and he threw it in the fire. And that was the first time he threw something plastic in the fire, and he tried to justify it because it had oatmeal all over it. And he was like, well, it's got an oatmeal coating. It's not going to really matter. Anyway, we had a big blue fire. People got sick, and 2 people went to the hospital.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.